just, I guess, ahead of a big game on the weekend, your first derby against Melbourne Victory as boss. What's the health and fitness of the squad like? Have all the players pulled up all right from the weekend? Are you expecting any players back?
Unfortunately not back. Referring to Carly, she'll have another week and we look to load her up. But in terms of her getting over her injury, we're really pleased with her progress there. But it's more about her being fit to play. So that'll see her out for this week. Other than that, we will look to go in unchanged. If we do look at changing anything, new personnel might come into the squad, but we'll leave that to the match day.
There's Catherine Zimmerman as well, who's been a long-term injury, won't get the chance to play against her former side. What's the progress in her rehabilitation? What's the sort of time frame that you're looking at there?
Yeah, that's a good one. Similar to Carly, she's been able to get the all clear from, I guess, prognosis and scans and things like that. And we're in the phase where we're looking to get her ready for availability for selection.
And then coming into this game, you had the come from behind draw against Canberra on the weekends, obviously showing a bit of fortitude to get back into that game against Canberra. Not an easy place to go, the ACT, and get a result. But what were the lessons that you took from that game? Anything you're going to be trying to address or implement heading into this weekend?
Yeah, look, I was really disappointed with the result, probably more so because of our second half performance and the pressure we did put on Canberra's goal. There's lots of positives to take from how adaptable we were to see some of the problems that were being created, but then stick to our principles once we fix some of our own vulnerabilities in our defensive transition, to then turn that around, retain more possession, and then be able to go forward and put those threats in on goal. So we've got to take that learning on how we as a group of staff and players can probably amend those changes earlier on in the game, and how we can, like I said, do that a little bit earlier to swing the momentum or nullify some of the threats of the opposition. And then again, like I've always said, we focus on what we're good at, and sticking to our style of game.
And maybe extrapolating that lessons question out, it's been about a month now, approximately a month, since you were officially named as the boss of Western United. How have you found the process, you adapting to the girls adapting to you, and how far along do you think you are on this project that is Cat Smith's Western United?
Yeah, look, that project is always going to be evolving, because as staff we're looking to evolve the playing group. You see players improve and develop, and we really want to put them in positions where they're exploiting their strengths, nullifying some of their limitations. When we do that, we can obviously layer the detail, and we can add to an overall philosophy or a vision. But at the end of the day, we're trying to put players in the best position to extrapolate a plan, or apply a plan that gets a result on the weekend.
Obviously, you'll have seen a lot of Western United before your arrival, but did anything across this past month, has anything taken you by surprise, a pleasant surprise, a not so pleasant surprise about the way any of these players operate, or the club operates, or how these players prefer to play?
I think it comes down to a culture which, you can't really name that. It's just a feel, and I think that comes from the togetherness, that really supportive nature of people first and wanting everybody in their positions to do well. How there's such a healthy environment to challenge each other in a way where we know that we've got a collective goal, and we're doing so to make sure that people are held accountable, and we're really holding high standards. So I think that's embedded. I've just tried to describe a feeling there, and that's probably, it's not surprising from being able to set something up as a clean slate, as the club was able to do so recently. But I think how it's emphasised, and it is a priority from leadership in the office right down to how players behave, and what coaches are really trying to hold standards, and people accountable to those standards. I think that's pretty clear to see.
And this weekend's making the trip to the home of the Matildas to take on Victory. I mean, Western United have had the wood over Melbourne Victory since they entered the competition. Played 2, won 2. Bit of a challenge for you, a legacy to uphold on that front, to keep Victory in your shadow, so to speak.
Oh, everybody likes going for a hat trick, so that's what we'll look to do.
Yeah. What have you made of Victory's form so far this season? They obviously had that good undefeated streak, but a couple of poor results. What have you made of the way they've been going about things?
Oh, look, my time there and working with Jeff, I've got a pretty good understanding of what he will value, and you can see the players are fairly disciplined, they're structured, they're going to know their roles and responsibilities. We, as any opposition against them, they're going to look to nullify their strengths. We'll do the same. I can't speak to their form or their challenges in-house. That's why I'll always revert. We'll focus on ourselves and do what we can do to hurt the opposition.
What's the feeling like? Have you noticed how the girls are feeling heading into this game? Because obviously this squad's a large contingent of Calder players that were overlooked by Melbourne Victory for several years before they got the opportunity with Western. Does this mean something a little bit more to the players, a chance to prove themselves?
I would hope that they'd want to go out and prove themselves in every game. They're wearing the green and black, and whenever there's 3 points up for grabs, we're going there to win. So I don't particularly see myself in a position where I'm motivating players any extra because of the opposition. I think to their own credit, they're where they're at because of the work they've done. If that was denied at the time, it certainly wasn't delayed. So they are where they are because they're deserving of playing in the league. They're doing it in the green and black, and we'll go out to win the 3 points.
I suppose an extra headache was added to your preparation for this game last week when Victory announced Alex Chidiac was signing with the team. That presence in the midfield. She's the reigning Julie Dolan medalist, so we know how good she is. How do you go about nullifying her?
Collectively, we know we back our individual players, but more so we know that collectively we're predictable in what we do without the ball. So defensively, we know we've got the right structures, and we've certainly got the qualities within individuals to carry out the plan as well.
And just looking at the table heading into this game as well, we talk about the rivalry and derby, but you yourselves and Victory, you both enter this game, you level on points, you level on wins, draws, losses, all of it, and 5th and 6th on the table, sitting in that bubble. It has the potential to be a bit of a season-defining game, perhaps.
Yeah, it is, regardless of who we're playing, because we want 3 points to move up the table. So if it happens to be Victory this week, we'll happily jump them on the table, given whatever iterations the table have in counting games or wins or goals for or whatever it is.
Well, you've opened the door there, Kat. Now, I did want to ask you about that. As far as I can tell, no coaches asked about it yet were aware about the change from wins to goal difference. Were you made aware in pre-season about this change?
I wasn't personally. It's probably due to my own personal circumstances at the time, but due to your great tweets or whatever you call them now, X's, I don't know what they are, we're aware of that. But at the end of the day, we're there to win games, so we're not looking to be safe on countbacks or anything like that. You go out to win, and hopefully, we're sitting alone at the top at the end of the season anyway.